So solving nonlinear equation. So solving nonlinear equation. Solving an equation means finding the value of x to satisfy f of x equals 0. Means if you have a function f of x, at some value of x, f of x will be 0. The value of x where f of x equal to 0 is known as the root of that particular function. Please note, the value of x where f of x is equal to 0 is known as the root of that function f of x. Okay, and finding that root is known as the solution of f of x equal to 0. Not solution of f of x, solution of f of x equal to 0. Okay, and here in this particular module, we are discussing about how to find the value of x where f of x equal to 0. Okay, so we have a number of methods. The very basic and old method is bisection method. Okay. So here what I stated is the application of these methods. Actually, some nonlinear function, for example, 1 plus x square plus 2x equal to 0. That one is, that equation have only the x term and the power of x terms. But in some nonlinear equation, you can see something like 1 plus e raised to x cos x equal to 0. So if you have that type of nonlinear function, then definitely we need some sort of numerical method. Some analytical methods are available, but it is not easy to use that analytical method. We have to use numerical method to find the answer quickly. Okay, so that one is written in red color. Okay. So anyway, we are going to start the bisection method. This one is, I told you, this one is the old method that is available. It is also known as interval halving method. Okay. So here, two way I am going to explain this interval halving method. Okay. So in order to solve this bisection method, actually we need two initial conditions. Please note, this one is useful for Viva questions. In order to solve a bisection method or interval halving method, we need two initial conditions, that is x equal to a and x equal to b. And one thing is very important, this a and b are the valid initial condition if and only if it is bracketing root r. Root r is the actual root that we are going to find, and a and b must be bracketing root, means r must be lying within this a and b. Means one is lying left to a, is say out of a and b, one is lying left to r and one is lying right to r. And how can we identify whether one is lying left to r and one is lying right to r? If it is so, then the f of a into f of b will be negative. So for example, I can draw a function diagram. Say this one is the function, this is x and this is f of x. Okay, so this one is a function. So you can see that at this particular point f of x equal to 0. So this is actually the root of this function, one root of this function. This function may have more than one root. This is one root. So say we are taking this one as one initial condition, that is a. This is another initial condition, that is b. And value of function at a is this one, so that is f of a. You can see that here it is negative. And value of b or value of function at b is f of a, and you can see that that is positive. Means if you are taking the product of this f of a and f of b, you can see that that is negative. The product of f of a and f of b will be less than 0 if a and b are bracketing this actual root r. What is happening if you are taking a wrong initial condition? So for example, I am taking the initial conditions as, say, this is one initial condition a, and this is the second initial condition b. So this is f of a, this is f of b, then you can see that the product of f of a and f of b are positive. Means greater than 0. F of a is negative, f of b is negative, but the product is positive. Means a and b are both are lying left to r, or in some situation right to r. Both. Means it is not bracketing r. Not bracketing r means r is not lying within a and b. So this shown a and b are not the valid initial condition. So you have to select two initial conditions, and those two initial conditions must be a valid initial condition. How can we check that validity? F of a into f of b must be less than 0. So that one is a validity. Means f of a and f of b have opposite sign. Okay. So how we are performing this one? So we have an interval. So this one is the initial interval. A and b is the initial interval, and we are successfully dividing that interval. We are successfully dividing that interval, means we are successfully modifying either a or b successfully, so that the interval is halved. The current interval will be the half of the previous interval. Okay, so we are taking the half of previous interval. That is why this method have interval halving method. Okay, please note that. Okay. So now what we are doing? How we are taking the half of previous interval? Okay. So again I am drawing the function. Okay. So this is x, this is f. Okay. This is the function. Okay. This is one initial condition a, and corresponding f of a is this one. So this is f of a, and this is another initial condition b, and corresponding value is f of b. And you can see that these a and b are the valid initial condition. Now we are going to find a new value c, and that c is a plus b by 2. You can see that c is equal to a plus b by 2, means c is the middle point of a and b. So somewhere here. In some situation, c may be somewhere here, but as per this diagram, c is the position of c is this one. Okay. So what we are doing? We are finding the midpoint of a and b. So that is c. Now what we are doing? We are comparing the. So if this is c, then what is the value of function at c? That is f of c. Now we are going to compare a and c. So you can see that what is the product of f of a and f of c. F of a is negative, f of c is positive, means the product of f of a and f of c is negative. So please note, if f of a into f of c is negative, then one thing is sure, the position of c is opposite to position of a. A is lying left to r, this is the position of r. A is lying left to r, and c is lying right to r. So if f of a into f of c is negative, one thing is sure, c is lying opposite to a. So what we can replace? We can replace this b. Now c will be the new bracket. A and c will be the new bracket. So my question is, can you give an answer? If f of a into f of c is positive, what we have to replace? That one is also possible. In some situation, f of a into f of c will be positive. If f of a into f of c is positive, means c is lying somewhere here. Then you can see that f of a is negative, f of c is also negative, then the product is positive. Means now the c is both a and c are lying on the same side. So now what we have to replace? Not b, we have to replace a. Is it clear, all of you? So like that way we are going to modify the interval. Okay. So through problem you can understand what is this method. Okay. So what we are doing? We are taking the half of the previous interval. After each iteration, the size of interval is reduced by half. So you can see that after nth iteration, the interval size will be b minus a divided by 2 raised to n. After nth iteration. Okay, that also you can understand after the problem. Okay. So this is, I am going to explain this method again by using two different cases. This is one case. Okay, I told you a is one initial condition, b is another initial condition, and you can see that a and b are the valid initial conditions. Okay, so now by using c equal to a plus b by 2, c is calculated. Okay, so as per this diagram, you can see that, so the midpoint C is calculated, C is equal to A plus B by 2. Now check f of A and f of C. So if f of A and f of C, if it is less than 0, as per this diagram, that is less than 0, right? So if f of A and f of C is less than 0, then what you have to replace? We have to replace B with A. So new B is equal to C. If f of A and f of C is less than 0, then replace B with C, don't replace A, means A is equal to A itself, don't replace A. Okay, now what is the second case? This one. Again, this one is a function, A and B are the two initial conditions, but here C is lying left to her, means f of A and f of C have the same sign. So first step is calculating C, C is equal to A plus B by 2, then now find f of A and f of C. But here you can see that f of A and f of C is not less than 0, it is greater than or equal to 0. Now what we have to replace? We have to replace A with C. Don't replace B. Okay, so this is the method. Okay, so please note, during the first iteration, that is during the 0th iteration, we are checking whether f of A and f of B is less than 0. It is used to check whether A and B are the valid initial condition. After that, we are during the remaining iteration, that is iteration number 1 to n, we are checking f of A and f of C, whether it is less than 0. If f of A into f of C is less than 0, replace B with C. If f of A into f of B, f of A into f of C, if it is not less than 0, replace A with C. Please remember, always remember this. If you are writing an algorithm, and this is the method, but we are just checking whether f of A and f of C is less than 0 or not. If it is less than 0, replace B with C. If not, replace A with C. There is no need to add an additional constraint. It will not affect the problem. Okay, there is no need to do that. Okay. Okay. Through problem, I will tell you how to stop this algorithm. We need some stopping criteria. Otherwise, it will continue. I told you, in numerical method will not give the actual root. So, at what point we have to stop? That is also important. The question is, find the root of f of x is equal to x cube plus x square minus 3x minus 3 equal to 0. This is a question. F of x is equal to x cube plus x square minus 3x minus 3 is equal to 0. Okay. So, in real life, I told you either you have to use the method that is used to find the initial condition, or you have to use graphical method. Okay, graphical method means draw a graph, substitute different values for x. So you have f of x value. So draw f of x with x. So you have a graph. So by using that graph, you can predict the initial condition. Okay, that one is a real life problem. But exam point of view, they will give the initial condition. Okay. So you can draw this type of table. The table must need iteration number. Then next column is A. Next column is B. The next column is C, that is equal to A plus B by 2. The next one is f of A. Next one is f of C. Okay, so all of you please draw this table. Iteration number, then A, then B, C, f of A, f of C. Varcha. Okay, okay, now we are going to start our iteration. First iteration, iteration number 1. So I told you the initial condition is not shown here. So I take the initial condition as 1 and 2. 1 and 2 are the initial condition. So what you have to do now? First check whether A and B are the valid initial condition. Okay. So this is iteration number 1. These two are the initial condition. Now check whether these two, 1 and 2 are the valid initial condition. How to check that? Take f of A, calculate f of A. So you can see that f of a is equal to minus 4, that is 1 cube plus 1 square minus 3 minus 3. So that is minus 4. So you can see that f of a is minus 4 and f of b is plus 3. Means f of a and f of b have opposite sign. Means the given initial conditions are the valid initial condition. Now find c. Now what is c? C is equal to a plus b by 2. C is equal to a plus b by 2. That is 1 plus 2 divided by 2. That is 1.5. Okay. So now calculate f of c. What is the value of f of c? That is 1.5 raised to 3 plus 1.5 raised to 2 minus 3 into 1.5 minus 3. So I think you have minus 1.875. Is it okay? Minus 1.875. I think all of you got the answer. Okay, so now we are going to start the second iteration. So second iteration, iteration number 2. Now what we have to replace, a or b? Can you give an answer? So what I asked you to do, take the product of f of a and f of c. Okay, actually there is no need to find the value of f of a and f of c. From this answer itself, you can say what is the sign of f of a and f of c. What is sign of f of a and f of c? F of a is negative, f of c is negative. So what is the sign of f of a and f of c? Less than 0 or not? Yes, positive means not less than 0. So if it is not less than 0, what we have to replace? A. We have to replace a. If it is less than 0, we have to replace b. But here it is not less than 0. So we have to replace a. So replace a with what? C. So we have to replace a with c, means now a is 1.5. Now there is no need to replace b. So b is 2. So now what is the new c value? New c is a plus b divided by 2. That is 1.5 plus 2 divided by 2. What is the value? Its midpoint. There is no need to use calculator. Its midpoint is 1.75. Right. Now what is f of a now? Again, there is no need to use calculator. What is a? 1.5. That is nothing but the previous c. So what is the new f of a? The previous f of c. Yes, if c is copied into this a, then definitely f of c is copied into this f of a. So this f of a is 1.87. If you are unable to pick this point, you can use calculator. Okay. If you are able to understand what I am doing this, no problem. Otherwise, just calculate f of a again. Actually, there is no need to do that. But if you are unable to catch this, calculate it. Okay. So anyway, f of a is 1.5 cube plus 1.5 square, 1.5 cube plus 1.5 square minus 3 into 1.5 minus 3, that is equal to minus 1.875. So now what is f of c? So now c is 1.75, so what is f of c? 0.1719, right? So this is new f of c. Okay, so now we are going to start the third iteration. So what we have to replace, a or b? So for that purpose, take the product of f of a and f of c. Actually, I told you there is no need to take the product. What is the sign of that product? This is negative, this is positive. So definitely sign of f of and f of c is negative, means less than 0. Right? If it is less than 0, what we need to replace? A or b? Yes, very good. We have to replace b. So we have to replace this b with c. So copy this c into b. So we have 1.75. Okay. So there is no need to replace a. So a is 1.5000. So now what is new c? Again, midpoint of these two, you can easily find that the midpoint is 1.625. Okay, so you have to continue this one. Okay, continue this problem. So you have to, what is f of a now? You can see that a is not changed means f of a is also not changed. Here a is not changed. Right. A is simply copied means you can copy f of a. Okay. You need to calculate c only. So the new value is, new f of c is minus 0.9434. Means this is negative. F of a is also negative. Means the product of these two is negative, positive. Product of f of a into f of c is positive. Means we have to replace a. We have to replace a. So it will give this iteration. You have to do that. Don't copy it. You have to do that. So it will give this iteration. So I am going to show the final answer. This is the after 17th iteration you have 1.732. So how I stopped this iteration? You can see that all A, B and C are same. All A, B and C are same. Is it always possible? No. Normally what you have to do is, if you are taking the 16th iteration, the 16th iteration also have the same C, 1.7320. Actually this one is a stopping condition. If the continuous iterations are giving the same C value, you can stop. If the continuous iteration is giving the same value, means if the nth iteration and n plus 1th iterations are giving the same C value, you can stop. Okay. So the root, here we can say the root is 1.7320, that is root 3. If you are substituting root 3, you have 0. Okay. Okay. So for me, it took 17 iteration. I used MATLAB program for this. Okay. So that algorithm, I written an algorithm. So it took 17 iterations. Okay. So and I used this f of c condition. That is the reason of this 17, I think. So the root is 1.7320. I think this one is root 3. Okay. So if it is root 3, this term will become 3 root 3. This is 3. Then this will become minus 3 root 3. So minus 3 root 3 and x cube is cancelled. And this minus 3 and this 3 are cancelled. So this is root 3. Okay. So now what are the advantages of bisection method? So if we are taking the initial condition properly, if it is bracketing the actual root, definitely it will give a answer. It will work. It will not trouble us. May take more iteration, but it will not trouble us. It will give some answer. But that answer will not be accurate, but it will definitely give an answer. So it is guaranteed to work. If f of x is continuous, that is also very important, f of x must be continuous within a, b, where a and b are the initial condition. Okay. Then we know the accuracy of this one. I told you this one is inaccurate, but that accuracy level we know. If you are using n iteration, then the accuracy, then the inaccuracy is b minus a divided by 2 raised to n. That one is inaccuracy. We are taking the half of interval, right? So after nth iteration, that interval is b minus a, that one is the initial interval divided by 2 raised to n. So we know the accuracy level of this method. Okay. So normally bisection method is used to find the initial condition of remaining methods. Nowadays, normally bisection method is used to find the initial value of remaining methods. So please remember that. Okay. Now what is the disadvantage of this bisection method? First one is, I told you it will take large time, means large step it will take. So the rate of convergence, that is speed of convergence, is small. It will have slow speed of convergence. Okay. Then another problem is, if the interval have more than one root, especially if the interval have even number of roots, it will not give an answer. So please note, that one is another important thing. The interval must have a single root. If it have multiple roots, especially even root, and if it have complex root, it will not give an answer. Okay, so that problem we have bisection method. Okay, so for by using the sign of initial condition, we can reduce that problem. If the between the initial condition, if we have even number of roots, from the sign itself we can say, we can identify that, we can predict about that. If you have even number of roots, if you have even number of roots, then the sign of both f of a and f of b will be same. If you have even number of roots, but if you have odd number of roots, the sign will be different. So we can't say whether the interval have single root or 3 root or 5 root, that we can't say. Okay, so that disadvantage this system have. Okay, but by using the graphical method, we can predict about the number of roots, or we can predict the initial condition. So the better thing is, in order to find the initial condition, use graphical method. Just draw the graph. So by using graph, make sure that the initial conditions are valid. Okay. So anyway, these are the disadvantages in real life. Okay. Then another one is, if you have even number of roots, then by using f dash of x, you can find the root.